Frydenberg targeting the cost of living. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. I want to have a look at this article from Yahoo Finance about, Frydenberg targeting the cost of living in this budget. Now, cost of living is going up. Everything is getting more expensive. Petrol. I've avoided filling up my my hybrid. You know, I got another 29 kilometers left, so I can make it to the petrol station. I really should get there, but it's up there. You know, these over $2 petrol prices, they kind of hurt for me. Anyway, the thing is, cost of living, housing affordability, I suspect they're going to be key issues at this coming election. So let's have a look at how this budget is being put forward. Josh Frydenberg says, the Treasurer, the federal budget will deliver targeted cost of living relief for Australians while setting a path to balance the government's books. Mr. Frydenberg said the budget will reveal a trajectory where debt compared to the size of the economy will peak lower and earlier than initially thought in December 2021. But the Treasurer remained coy about measures in the budget that will help ease the cost of living as petrol prices soar and the price of everyday goods rise. Now, I think Rachel was telling me they're looking at reducing alcohol taxes. It'd be great if they could ditch the fuel excise. We pay so many taxes just in our day-to-day goods. Some people would be shocked. I think a lot of the people watching this channel will be aware of that and frustrated with it, but you'd be shocked. Rather than increasing the welfare, why don't you reduce some of the taxes on people's staples, on the small luxuries that they have to enjoy their life? What about smoking? Okay, I mean, it's a sin tax. You shouldn't smoke. I think it's pretty stupid these days to do it, but people should be free to. Maybe if you reduce the taxation on it, those people who do it will have a bit of money to spend on other things. We can't have that, can we? So, what we see doing, actually, talking about smoking, there's a really funny clip from Yes Minister about trying to reduce the taxes on smoking, and smokers happily sacrificing their lives early to support all the people that the NHS is funding. Yeah, you've got to see it. I'll find it and I'll link to it. So, what we're seeing, what we're seeking to do is reduce the cost of living pressures by putting more money into people's pockets, he said. Maybe taking less away from our pockets. That'd be good. Frydenberg told the Australian Chamber of Commerce, an industry forum, that apart from targeted and proportionate help for families in the budget, the government had already cut power bills by 8% in the past 2 years, rolled out $30 billion in income tax cuts, and provided $10 billion a year in childcare support. But Shadow Treasurer Jim Chalmers said the federal government cannot be trusted on what it says about the economy. Dr. Chalmers said the March 29 economic blueprint on the eve of an election is showing all the signs of another budget full of secret slush funds before the election and secret cuts after. What's he saying there? Sure, mate. How about we just reduce government? Okay, we can all agree on that, can't we? Government should be smaller so their burden on us is lessened. Oh no, you'll have to sacrifice some of those services that you love. Tough. And you may have to pay for stuff yourself and realize, wait a minute, private business is offering this for free. Imagine if government tried to run email. Can you imagine that? What kind of a stupid setup would that be? Remember when the Greens were proposing to replace Google with a government-run search engine? This is the stupid shit our elected representatives suggest. Like it's sensible. And I know people hate Google, but how many of us use it all the time? The services are free. What do we pay for it? Nothing. You may pay extra for extra services, but you can use all their docs, all their emails, all YouTube for nothing. Oh no, you have to watch some advertising. Who cares? It's how the world works. This coalition government has barely anything to show for the record debt. They'd already multiplied even before the pandemic, he said. After a decade of marketing and mismanagement, the dividend for Australians is skyrocketing cost of living, falling real wages, and families falling behind. He's right, though. Frydenberg told the ABC he wanted to see wages rise, but the government would not be taking a side when it came to wage cases being taken to the industrial umpire. If you want your wages to increase, you've got to change your job. That's it. If you're used to just sitting on your ass doing the same thing again and just expecting your wages to go up, that's a real old-fashioned approach to life. Okay, that you got to get out of that mentality. If you want to better yourself and earn more money, you've got to do that. You've got to take steps to warrant that. Should people be getting wage increases when their productivity doesn't increase? Sure, you should keep up with inflation. That's fair and reasonable. But what do you reckon? Because remember, we're in a global world now. You're competing with people overseas, everyone. The best way to create higher wages is through a tighter labor market, he said. Well, yeah, you want people to compete for it. Full employment was in sight, with the latest data showing 4% unemployment rates for February, he added in his business speech. The budget paper will show gross debt as a proportion of GDP will peak lower and earlier than forecast in the mid-year review published in December, declining over the medium term. This is the fiscal dividend of a strong economy, he said. Frydenberg said economic support rolled out during the COVID-19 pandemic could not go on, and with continued funding actually doing more harm than good. It would risk putting further pressure on inflation, interest rates, and cost of living, he said. The budget will continue the government's conservative set of commodity price assumptions, notwithstanding iron ore prices sitting around $130 a tonne, thermal coal at $385 a tonne, and metallurgical coal at a record $660 a tonne. The government will also be sticking to its tax to GDP cap of 23.9%. This imposes a discipline on the expenditure side of the budget and is consistent with the coalition's value of cutting taxes, not increasing them, enabling Australians to keep more of what they earn. Controlling spending growth while delivering essential services such as health and disability support will be a difficult balancing act for the government. Really, there's lots of fat you can trim. This would involve looking at the efficiency and quality of government spending, Frydenberg said. He pledged the government would not be baking in any new structural spending off the back of temporary revenue increases. Frydenberg is giving little away in terms of where salaries are heading, pointing to the mid-year review showing an upgrade of wages each year over the next 4 years, and the national account showing average earnings up 3.4% throughout the year. Here's the thing. The only way government can affect your wages or your amount of money you can spend, your disposable cash, is by reducing taxes. Reducing taxes on your income tax, reducing all the other levies and bullshit that we pay that's hidden everywhere. Everything else is up to the market, at least to an extent. They can, you have bodies intervene and set minimum wage rates, but that also increases unemployment because there's some people that don't even have the skills to warrant that wage. In its latest pre-budget announcement, the federal government set aside $104 million funding package over the next 5 years to prevent technology and devices being used to perpetrate or facilitate family, domestic, and sexual violence. Okay, cool. We'll see if that will have any impact. Here's the thing. A lot of these social issues, I think, derive from, cost of living pressures as well. How much of the issues in families comes from money? More than you might think. So let's have a talk about all of this. Will this win them the election? We've got a cost of living budget. There are a lot of angry people out there. Have you seen anything positive about ScoMo, everyone? Could he have another miracle election win? Cost of living is important. This and housing, I think, will be two important issues in the coming election. But there are a lot of people that are still just pissed off. And they'll take out their frustrations with their state premiers at the Prime Minister. We'll have to see, you guys. It's one to watch. Keep an eye on Tasmania, on South Australia this weekend. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I find and put together here, there are a few ways you can help out. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Sign up for SelfWealth or Stake, or use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And I will see you all in the next episode of HeiseSays. And I will refer to another video I did earlier today about housing affordability at record levels. Sydney's right up there with Hong Kong, everyone. That's just insane. Sydney isn't for average people anymore. Welcome to New Australia.